Bitcoin ecosystem. Get ready for a day full of insightful discussion and networking opportunity. Before we start, I would like to introduce our co-hosts who have made this event possible. Citrea, the first rollup that enhanced the capability of blockchain space with zero knowledge technology incubated by Chainway Labs. And also Practical Network, known as the modular layer 1 powering chain abstraction, driving innovation in blockchain interoperability. And also Scalable, a leading security auditing team specializing in audit for emerging ecosystems like CKP, Bitcoin, Layer 2, and cross-chain applications. We are also incredibly grateful to our sponsor who make this event even better. The Orange supports Bell 2. The Lemons sponsor Rosen, Lorenzo, and CKM. NAM sponsor Cordal, Glyph Exchange, Wallace, Thesis, and Villa. Their support is crucial in bringing this event to life and boosting the growth of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Now join me in welcoming Murat Kalademir, the co-founder of the Citrea, to give our opening speech. Thank you, Murat.
Thank you for the lovely speech. Welcome everyone. My name is Murat. I am the co-creator of Citrea. It's my pleasure to have you here. For those of you who are visiting Hong Kong for this week for Bitcoin Asia and Scaling Bitcoin Together, welcome to Hong Kong. For those of you who are living in here, thank you for hosting us. It's a beautiful city. As a team, we are having a great time here. So to give you a bit story of Bitcoin, Scaling Bitcoin Together, we started in Istanbul, which is our hometown, which is also intersection of East and West. We had the first version there. I'm so happy to have the second version in Hong Kong, in East, and we will have the third one in West, either in Europe or United States. So how did we start this conference series? We realized we need a platform for builders, for developers, for innovators like us to get together and discuss the latest technology development and the scalability solutions on Bitcoin, because for a user, for a regular normal person, it is really hard to differentiate the technology and the noise. So I'm sure that you are going to meet with a lot of people here. Please reach out to them, get their connection, and follow them, use their platform. This is one of a kind of opportunity for you to meet with them in face-to-face, because online and offline is different. So I hope that you will have a great time here. We prepared a wonderful lineup today. And I want to thank my team, Citrea team, our co-host, Particle Network Curve, our co-host, Scalebit, Nissa, and thank you for generous supports of our sponsors here today, our partners and supporters. Let's scale Bitcoin together, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for attending.
Thank you so much, Murat. And now we move to our first keynote of the day. Please welcome Jonathan Hargreaves, Global Head of Growth at Elastos, who will share the insight on Bout 2. I give the stage here for you.
Thank you, Mika, and also thank you for everyone for coming. A really big thank you on a Saturday to hear me share my excitement about scaling Bitcoin. A message from my wife in London, she says, you're all very special people, and that's some British irony, I think. So what I wanted to do is really sort of start by sharing the idea of our new product, which is called Bell 2, and the idea of global consensus and how we can use this product to scale Bitcoin. Just a quick bit on my background. I've worked actually building technology businesses for 30 years. I had the huge privilege of working with ICANN and some of the founders of the internet between 2001 and 2016. And when we were doing that, there were three things. There was, first of all, keeping an open internet. Secondly, there was the idea that the internet should be safe and secure, but really importantly, that it be global, and that there's a global consensus that drives the whole process of how we scale. And I think the image here that we use to remind ourselves is Earth rising. So it's the potential of the picture taken from the moon of Earth being one place, totally connected. So that's really what gets me excited, because I think we're right now at a very special moment in technology where scaling Bitcoin can create a new system for consensus and a global system. And this is incredibly exciting for us all. One downside, obviously the worry, is that the internet as it was became balkanized and actually became in some ways abused around data and also around the rewards that people got from using it. So just to watch out as we scale to try not to make those issues. But the really good news is that global consensus was built into the Bitcoin from the beginning. So here is the Genesis block, and the quote from Satoshi, which says, "This is a new contract that uses consensus around global markets." And so this idea of global consensus is baked into Bitcoin. And really importantly, he also included this picture on the first block, which is the front page of the Times on the second global bailout of the banks. And he said, in the future, the banks will be led by the people. And that was really something that's very important to this idea of our business. So if you don't mind, I'll quickly talk about Elastos. Elastos was founded actually in 2017. We are merge mined with Bitcoin, which means we have over 50% of the hash rate of Bitcoin within our layer one. And that obviously not only means we've got a great deal of security, but a great deal of decentralization. And one of our co-founders, Rong Cheng, has this incredible vision for how this decentralized network can create relationships and trading relationships between different merchants directly. And this idea is super accelerated with layer two, because what that means is, as in Rong's words, you can become, it's your money, your bank. So you've suddenly got this ability to do things with layer two that are quite stunning and to scale Bitcoin. And I think that the really exciting thing is, as he says, imagine if Bitcoin could talk to other blockchains, make deals, ensure contracts, and without compromising its integrity. And that's what Bell 2 is trying to do. And importantly, and this comes from our other co-founder, Sunny, who doesn't get a picture because he's in the front row there, but this idea that actually Bell 2 can continue this global consensus through a maximalist approach with three principles. First of all, always trying to ensure the integrity of Bitcoin. Secondly, that rather than the asset being transferred, what is transferred is information, so that Bitcoin can interact with a smart contract while staying on the Bitcoin network. And then thirdly, the principle that we can use ZK proofs to verify and ensure everything, so that what we're doing is creating a new, essentially banking system around this layer two. So just to quickly visualize how that works, if you see on the left-hand side here, the blockchain network, all the proofs there, from proof of transfer, feeding into the management via ZK proof, on Bitcoin, and the asset stays on Bitcoin, but the information transfers through the Bell 2 arbiter to an EVM chain, and from that, the smart contracts are added. So from seed price, you are able to stake Bitcoin, and from event, you are able to stake EVM, and they can combine in a very sophisticated smart contracts. That means that we're having this maximalist approach of keeping Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. Okay. So that's the theory. This is now how we bring it alive with products. So we have loan products, which essentially has been the team has been working on very, very hard in the last month or two. It's essentially mortgaging BTC so that you can borrow USDT. What it means is that you can have an interest-bearing loan that when it matures, you are able to pay it off without the volatility and fluctuations in price that will affect Bitcoin in a normal environment. And most importantly, the smart contracts can also then work to enable the model for the mortgage operation, and can be again paid off monthly, so reducing the risk. So this is really important to understand that we're keeping that maximalist model. So I just wanted to give an example of how this will work in practice. So I want to introduce Bob and Alice. So Bob is he's a lucky guy because he has free USD. He has lots of it. So what Bob does in this model is he decides to deposit his USD into a Bell2 smart contract, which is then connected to a layer 2. And at that point, Bob has created a loan. At this time, I want to introduce Alice. Now, Alice is a borrower. She is just got engaged to a Bitcoin maximalist who kindly gave her 0.2 Bitcoin as an engagement present. So she has 0.2 Bitcoin that she wants to hold, but she needs a honeymoon outfit, expensive honeymoon outfit. So she wants to borrow. So what she does is she locks that 0.2 Bitcoin into the Bitcoin script, and at that point, she is then able to act on that Bitcoin without necessarily disclosing so much information. So her Bitcoin holding husband does not know she's made this loan, and she's able to keep discreet information and data around what she's doing. So the next step, Alice goes on a honeymoon. She wears her outfit. She comes back. Her kind boss pays her to a bonus for getting married. So she pays off her loan. And at that point, she's able to withdraw the 0.2 gift of Bitcoin back from the loan. And at that point, as it happens, it's increased. So she has actually even made money. She has her outfit. And also, Bob is also able to get the interest from his Bitcoin loan. And in this model, everyone wins. And what hopefully we can show you is how we have a secure and efficient way of really creating inter-blockchain connections and a smart web, and avoiding the fears of fragmentation and taking Bitcoin off of the Bitcoin network. So just to recap that advantage. So if you have a Centralfi application, you've got two levels of risk. You've got the liquidity risk and you've got the counterparty risk. So it's really quite risky. Even in DeFi, you've still got the liquidity risk. And actually, if you're using wrapped Bitcoin, you also have the risk of centralized custodians. So less risk, but you've still got two kinds of risk. Using the model I just outlined, because both counterparties are on the Bitcoin network, what they're able to do is use the market rules to reduce the threat of volatility and really almost reduce the risk to very small amounts. So that's the core advantage that we have from this system. But in building a global consensus, what we need to do is also use the data that we're building from these transactions. So we have a tool called the Bitcoin Oracle that is able to generate patterns on this data And we're also looking at off-chain data as well to understand how people are building Bitcoin models and different usages. So we did a survey, and in Nigeria, for example, there's very high Bitcoin usage. Of tech-savvy people, it's 64%. Of them, 67% said that they would trust their life savings with Bitcoin as opposed to their local bank. So a usage model that's obviously focused on lack of trust in banking there. Another project we're working on in Brazil, where again there's very high Bitcoin usage, nearly 60%, we found that farmers were being charged loans of 90% to actually sort of do their daily job and buy their products. So in this model, what we imagine and what we hope is that we can use our data and oracles and global consensus to find a loan that is much closer to the 14%, still painful, 14, but at least it's livable compared to 90%, so that we're really having a huge impact on the way that Bitcoin is being used in the world. And also importantly, this idea of global consensus, so that Bell 2 can ensure that we're using Bitcoin for good, for making a new Bitcoin economy and a new internet. And that's really why I'm so excited, and I'm really pleased that you've given us our Saturday afternoon to talk about this, because it's potentially, as it scales, revolutionary to global economics. And that's really what we mean by a model for scaling Bitcoin using Bell 2. Obviously, there are problems around speed, there are problems around institutional adoption, even usability if we go mainstream. But these are things we can deal with, and as we scale, really hopefully drive this revolution home. So thanks for listening to me this afternoon. I look forward to talking to you about some of the problems and the issues that we face. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan.